Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. So straight on to the DXY. Just get my pen. So we got this WXY, possibly get X2 and then a Z up. More than likely we'll get bull hidden here and we'll get that Z up. It's not confirmed yet, but that's what I'm looking at. On the daily, on the H4. So we have the 333. We have the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We still haven't broken below this low here. And we have possible bull hidden. It's not relevant, this bull hidden, but sometimes they still do play from here. But I dare say we'll get a little bit more downside. Breaking that low, and then we'll get a larger correction in here that you'll be able to short on, and then we'll get that Z up for the daily. On the H1, pretty much like I said last week, we got that Z down. And we should be starting to see the correction. We still haven't broken that low, like I said. But we are getting that bullish divergence. So I dare say we will start to see this correction. The only way you can buy from here is wait for your impulse, correction or flag, and then look for the buy. For the short, we're getting bullish divergence, so it starts to get risky. These were your trades in here for the shorts. Last week we got that Z down. I was looking for that Z down. It actually went further than I thought. I thought we'd probably just come to this 78.6, but it's come down to the 90 fib. AU on the daily. So we're still a fair way away from this 100 fib here. Like I've been saying, this is looking corrective. It's looking like this, it's corrective. I don't think we have bull hidden here. Or do we? Yes, we do. So we have that possible bull hidden to go and break this top. Again, it's not valid to trade as bull hidden. On the H4, we have this WXY. Looking at this as X2 and then a possible Z down. We don't have any bearish divergence here. So you can look for long. We've broken this trend line. So if you get a correction in here, you can look for that buy to go and break that top on the H4. If we look at the H1, so we only had 3 up here. 1, 2, 3. Then we had a complex correction in here. And then we got this. So we can look at this as a W, X, Y. Get another X, X2, and then a Z up. Does it go and break that top? Well, possibly. It's looking like you're getting we are getting a correction in here. So you can look to take it. It's not as large as this. We'd like a correction as large as this in here to give us more confidence that we will get that Z up. So it's a little bit early yet. You'll have to be careful taking the buy just at this stage. rid of a couple of these. So I'll change this. And we'll go this. So we're looking for this. Just change this one again. So we're looking for that W, X, Y, X, Z. EU on the daily. Again, we're nowhere near that 100 fib. We have the bearish divergence. We have a WXY in here. We have a WXY, possible X2. I dare say we'll get that bear hidden in here as well. And then we'll get that Z down. That's the way I'm looking at it on the daily. H4, like I said, we got that 333. Have we broken above here? I don't think we have. Oh, I think we may have just broken above here. So now you really need to wait for the H4 correction to confirm that we're going to get more upside. Like we got here, we got an A, B, C in here. Well, we'll be looking for either an A, B, C in here, or it turns into a WXY, and then an exit and a Z and go and break this top. So really you need to wait for this correction on the H4 to get an entry. On the H1, we've got the Z up, like we were looking for last week. So we got that Z up. We are still within this trend. We are getting bearish divergence. This has broken the top. So we are getting that bearish divergence. So you have to be very careful. Looking for the buys up here. Like I said, H4, you really want that larger H4 correction. Or on the day, on the H1, you want that A, B, C. Then look for your buy. GU on the daily. Again, like I said, this is very corrective. It's very corrective in here. We didn't get that sharp impulse down and a flag or a correction. It's all this is looking corrective. So the chances are we do go up and break that top once all this is over. And we can look at this like a flat, like a running flat. It's not the best looking running flat, but this C wave is not the best looking C wave, but that's the way we can look at it. On the H4, this one actually gave us the Z down. So we got a W, X, Y, X, Z, giving us that bullish divergence. We still haven't broken up above this top, but we're starting to break out of this trend line here. Again, this isn't very impulsive. It's looking very corrective. So we really want to see it break above that top, then give the correction to confirm more upside. It's risky when we're still within this impulse, especially when we get like such a choppy movement. On the H1, well, it's actually on the M30. I'll just go to the M30. I've got a count on there. So we've got an A, B, C. Then we've got this A, B, C. So we probably get this either 3 down, 3 up, sorry, or we get the 5 up. This is looking very impulsive here. So if you get any flag or correction, look for that buy. We'll be looking for that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or it can turn into the 5. And you on the daily, again, still didn't quite get to that 100 fib. Here we do have bull hidden, but it's not valid as bull hidden. You can't trade it as bull hidden, but sometimes they do go and break that top even though they're not valid. H4, so we got W, X, Y. We still can get this X2 and then a Z down. We still haven't broken above that top. That will invalidate the Z down. So we can draw this. We have broken out of this downtrend, and now we're in an uptrend. But it's still only 3 waves. Excuse me. So we got 1, 2, 3. So we got a WXY in here, internal. Do we get a X2 and then a Z finishing off this X wave, and then we get the Z down? Well, it's possible. But the thing that I'm looking at here is this correction here. This is a lot larger correction here than this one. So I'm thinking that's over, and we only get the Y down. And yeah, going to the H1. This one here is very difficult because we never got that Z down. This Z down didn't break the low. So it becomes difficult because we never come from a bottom. We never got the impulse from a low. It would have been nice if this one did break the low. Then we got this as the W, X, Y, and then look for the X and then the Z. We still can look for this structure in here. But yeah, it's not as nice as some of the other pairs. UY on the daily. We broke above this high, which is nice. We never broke above this high. There still is room up to the 100 fib on the daily as that A, B, C. Here, yeah, so we've got to work out if this is the end of the move and we possibly can go and break that low or at least get a larger correction. Something like this to give us more upside. We really need that correction now to give us a direction. The MACD hasn't quite turned down, so it is possible that we still do go up to that 100 fib. We still are in that uptrend. On the H4, nothing's changed. Still looking for that Z for the extended wave. So we haven't broken below this low here. So why this low here holds, we can still, well, the invalidation point for this X2 will be this 50 fib. If we go back down to this 50 fib, more than likely we won't get that Z up. At this stage, we still can get that Z up basically at any time. It can break below this low here because we're looking at this as an extended wave. So we get that W, X, Y, X, Z. On the H1, we do have that bullish divergence. Like I said last week, we got that Z down. We were looking for that Z down. Again, this was extended. It come a lot further than I thought it would. Actually looking like we're getting a little bullish flag in here. You can look to trade this. Sort of, it's not a real nice impulse. But it may be the start of some sort of larger correction. Something like this as a zigzag, or maybe it'll take off. Just adjust this trend line. We're still within this trend line. So ideally, we'd like to see that impulse up, a nice impulse up, and then give us a flag or correction to buy. At this stage, we do have that bullish divergence, so it's getting risky to sell. This here can be a flat as well. So you'll have to be careful of that. You may get one more down in here. And that's where your swing points will come into play. You Chevy. This one we've just crossed down here on the MACD on the daily. So it is possible that we do get this W1Z down. But in saying that, it has given us a higher height. Now, just because it gives us a higher height doesn't mean that it doesn't go and break this low. Sometimes they do, and it's definitely not out of the question that this does go and break that low for the larger A, B, C, and then the larger A, B, C on the daily. On the H4, we have broken out of this. We have broken the low of this. So we do have a lower low on this one, whereas the UY we don't. So if you're looking for the shorts, this will be a better option. We do have that bearish divergence. Like I said last week, I was looking at this as a W, X, Y, X, Z, and then we get that W, X, Y, X, Z. We still can get that Z up with this as the extended wave. But I'll be more inclined to look for the short on this one. We've broken below this low. On the H1, we got another lower low in here. So I'd be looking at this as the wave Y, and we're getting an X down. We're getting a Z down. This in here is internal to this. So we got a W, X, Y, X, and we're getting that Z down now. To buy this, you really need that breakout and then a flag to buy. And you're only looking for this 50 fib retrace, basically. That'll be your target. Well, that'll be your first target. You could use that as your first target and then use the H4Z up as your second target, the 161.8 in this extension on this. So it'll be up here somewhere as your second target. But I'd definitely be taking half off at the 100 fib, at the 50 fib here. Just adjust this. So to buy this, you really need that impulse up, correction, and then look for that C up. If it turns into a wave Y, well, you'll probably get a Z up, but we'll have to see. But we still can get more downside here. This wave Z isn't over. So wait for your break, little flag, something to buy, something to give you a buy signal, and look for that. And I'll be targeting that 50 fib. UCAD on the daily. This is the only one that sort of hasn't broken out of that trend, the daily trend line. This is looking very bullish in here now. This is looking very bullish. We do have a lot of that bullish divergence. This is looking corrective in here. So I dare say we've just about got to an end. You know? Now, we did have that, excuse me, we did bounce off that 100 fib here, A, B, C as 100 fib, but this is looking very corrective. So if this was a C wave, you know, it should have given us an impulse down, something to look for a sell and sell to break that low. This is too choppy. We've got 1, 2, 3, you know, 1, 2, 3, and we're getting another one down here. I'd be more inclined to look for buys, and I am only looking for buys on this. So we got this in here. So we've got this A, B, C, A. This is a like A, B, C in here. So this is your A, B, C. And we're sort of getting in here, we're getting this A, B, C in here. So I dare say this low will be broken. And then we'll be looking for the buys. So I'll be drawing a trend line in here. The first opportunity you get for a buy on this, I'd be looking for that buy. So what I'd be looking to see is this is probably just a little bear flag in here. I wouldn't take that bear flag. You probably could if you wanted to, just as a scalp. But I'll be looking for one more down to break that low, because we do have this flat in here. We have this A, B, C, then we get that A, B, C in here. So we're looking for that A, B, C to go and break that low. It's already completed the pattern, because the wave C only has to break above this low, the ending point of wave A. It's done that. But I always like to see it break the B wave as well. It gives it more confirmation. So I'd like to see that break down there, break that low, and then give us an impulse up and something to buy, some sort of flag or a little correction and buy. It should give us a good entry. It should give us good risk reward. GY. I'm in this one. So there is still, we still haven't crossed down on the MACD. So we're still in this, we've got this WXY. There is still room up to this 161.8. We haven't crossed down yet, so this may not be over. The upside may not be over on this yet. Again, we got that extended wave on H4, looking at that as a WXYZ in the wave Y. So we're looking for this X2. This, I dare say we just get a correction in here for an A, B, C in here, and then a Z up. Or it can go from here. Sometimes they do go from here, but it's sort of looking for a structure, something like this over here. Okay? On the H1, I got in this one just in case it did go. We've got a nice trend line break in here, but I dare say it more than likely just be a break even trade. It's at break even already. But we sort of get this A, B, C. So you will have to be careful if you're not in this already, because more than likely this is just going to be a flat correction for an A, B, C. It is looking rather impulsive. We had this bullish divergence here. That's why I took this, the break of this, because we did have that bullish divergence. Yeah, the only way you can buy this now is you got to wait for a little flag to buy. And then you'll have to get it to break even as soon as you can, because like I said, this can just be an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat, and then we get another one down. Sometimes they do go and break this top, and it's this is all the correction. All this is the correction, but yeah, I'm sort of at this stage. I'm looking at it as an A, B, C up. I traded this as a C up. It may go and break that top, and this is the X2 here, and we get that Z up. So we'll have to wait and see. EG. Looking for that C up on the daily. Nothing's changed there. On the H4, we do have this possible flat in here to go and break this low. Definitely is possible. It's messing around up here. It didn't really give us much last week. It's just messing around up here. If it was the C up, we should get that impulse down and something to sell. A nice setup, but we're not really getting that impulse that I like to see. We may start to get an impulse here, but we'll have a look on the H1. So really, if you were looking for the short, this was your trade in here. A break of that. But again, this can be like an A, B, C, and then more upside. So you really have to be careful. If you get a bearish flag in here, look for the sell. You've broken this trend line with bearish divergence. So if you took the break of the trend line, you should really be at break even. Similar to that GY, trade that I just showed you on the last one. But if you get a bearish correction in here, you can sell it, and you more than likely get 5 down breaking this low. It definitely is possible as that H4 flat. EY on the daily, we're nearly at this 100 fib, and we have that bearish divergence, so I'm looking for shorts, not really looking for the longs. This is still looking bullish up here. We haven't broken this top, or have we broken that top? I don't think we've broken this top here. May have just broken that top, but this is still looking bullish in here. If we go down to the H1. Okay, so we're sort of getting a triangle in here. So you could probably trade this as a triangle. So we got this A, B, C, D, E. You can probably go down to lower time frames, get the break of this little break in here. If you wanted to look for the buy, you definitely want to be a break even at the top, and ultimate target would be that daily 100 fib, and possibly may get there. But I'm only interested in the sells, really. Gold on the daily. So I was looking for, because we had such a deep correction in here, I was looking for another one down as a flat. That failed. We did get that C up last week. We did get that C up. I think it was a week before, but yeah, we didn't quite break that low, so it's very deep. So this has actually turned into yeah, we got a WXY in here with no bearish divergence, so you can't look for that now. You can't look for that sell. It didn't really give you the setup to sell it. If we go down to the H1, so we did get that nice bounce off the 100 fib. I was looking for A, B, C. Never got the break below, so you wouldn't never got an entry. Then we got like this WXY. This more than likely will be an extended wave in here. So we get a WX wherever this wave here finishes, a Y, then an X2, and then a Z for a WXY XZ up in here. So you sort of can look for flags. You're in an uptrend. So while this trend here holds, you are starting to get bearish divergence just. So you'll have to be a bit careful of that. But I'll be more inclined to look for the buys on this one. Because that failed, that structure here failed. It still can be a C up. Well, it's not. It's a Y up. So on the H4, we got no bearish divergence. So this is a wave Y. So more than likely we'll get WXY XZ up around this trend line. Like I said a few weeks ago, we can go back up. We're in that channel, so yeah, we can go back up to this trend line and then probably get that WXY XZ and then more downside to the bottom of the channel, perhaps. But yeah, I'd be more inclined to look for another correction and then more upside. WTI. So we got that bearish divergence. We bounced off the 100 fib on this one, and we have that bearish divergence. Last week, I was looking for that C up. We had this in here. It took a couple of days to go, and then eventually it gave that C up. It's actually gone past the 100 fib, so we have to be careful here because now we have a WXY, so we can get an X2 and then a Z to finish off the move, finish off the correction. So you really have to be careful. Like we got 5 down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. Yeah, this is still, well, this is on the H1, but on the H4 we got a WXY. So more than likely we'll get an X2 and then a Z. Sometimes these complex corrections, they look like flats. So we may get a sharp move down here, but then it'll just go straight back up, taking everyone out, and then it'll fall over for the larger A, B, C. H1, it's still looking bullish. You're not getting any self setup. There's nothing. We are getting a cross down here. But again, this is a WXY. You can look at all that as Y, look for the X, and then a Z. on the H1 as well. Bitcoin fell over, and it looks like it's going back up. There was a nice sell on it in here. I don't know if any of you's got it, but we're only looking for sells. Like I said, for ages, we're getting all this internal divergence. It's only a matter of time before we get this X2. So we got a W, X, Y, looking for that X2 and then a Z. So I think we're going to be in this correction for a long time. We must be coming to an end of this because there's so much bearish divergence. It's internal bearish divergence. So we're looking for that larger correction. So the flat played out. The flat that we had in here played out, went and broke the top. Now we're getting that bearish divergence between these two tops. I don't think we did have bearish divergence in here. So why this trend line here holds. So more than likely, we'll get some sort of ending diagonal in here. I don't think we're looking for another correction, same size as this. Well, this is it's not big enough yet. So we'll go down to the H1. I thought it might have actually fallen over yesterday when I was looking at this. It was a nice setup, really nice trade. If you got that, you would have been at break even, at least break even. Let's just see if it bounced off that 100 fib. Yeah, see, it bounced off that 100 fib with no bearish divergence. So, yeah, if you're looking for the buy, you want this breakout out of here and then give you some sort of a setup to buy. Go and break that top. Yeah, you can look for that because we did get that 3 down. Yeah, if you get a buy setup, you can look for it. You may even be it's too small, but you may even be able to. I think, oh, it's down on there 15 by the look of it. See, this was your flat in here. It's probably too late to take it. If you get a little bit of downside here, you probably take it, and this is just stop loss for like this is your flat in here. So you get a W, X, Y, X, Z, or just maybe an A, B, C. If it goes and breaks this top here, well, it'll be a Y, and then you could hold it. If it only gets to the 100 fib, you want to take half off. You definitely want to take half off at that 100 fib. So the 100 fib is around this area here, 63,146 area. Or you can just wait for that trend line to break. If this price comes up here to the 100 fib and then gives you a sell setup, well, then you could look for the sell. I'd be more interested in taking all the sell setups, but if you do want to take, there is a flat right here. By the time this gets on YouTube, this flat will be over. So I shouldn't really be going into it. SPX. Still a long way to that 100 fib. Eventually, we're looking for this 50 fib retrace. On the got this, we've broken out of this channel here. We're getting a W, X, Y. So there still is room up to the 161.8, and then we're looking for that X2 and then a Z on the H4. We got that Z up last week, like I was looking for. I think it was back down here somewhere. This really wasn't big enough. I'd be looking at this as the X, wave Y, and then we'll get an X and then a Z. I'll be looking for another like X2 and then a Z up. This isn't a large enough correction. We're looking for a correction similar to this. So if you're looking to buy this, there is no sell setup on it. I'm only really interested in the sells. But you really want that X2 and then a Z up. Breakout, sell setup, and then you could at least sell. May only turn into the X2, H4 X2, and then give you another one up. But you should at least get a few pips out of this move in here after you get that Z up. If you want to trade, you can trade that Z up too if that's what you want to do. But the DAX, still a lot of room up. We're starting to move out of this bullish channel. Rising wedge. Getting a lot of bearish divergence. It's starting to get really risky. You know. So we got an extended wave in here as well. You had this in here. Pretty difficult correction to trade. Yeah, I'll be only looking for the sells. Yeah, you could just wait for your setup. Wait for your break, something to sell, and I'll be more inclined to look for sells. Eventually, we're going to get that crash, right? You know, all these indices are getting to new highs. So, yeah. So we still have room up on the FTSE to the 100 fib, and yeah, same as this one. You know, I'll be only looking for sells now. We did get that. We did get the nice wave Z up on this one, and we do have that bearish divergence, I think. Yeah, we are getting bearish divergence. So yeah, wait for the break and a sell setup. So that's about it this week. Enjoy your break over the weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.